Hi, I'm Mr. New Jersey, and today I want to tell you all about the spot at the tip top of the Jersey Shore, the Sandy Hook Peninsula. The Sandy Hook Peninsula is part of Middletown Township, Monmouth County, New Jersey. The peninsula snakes its way northward from the rest of the Jersey Shore, forming a barrier between the Atlantic Ocean to its east and lower New York Bay to its west. Much of the Sandy Hook Peninsula is part of the National Park System, being preserved as a unit of the Gateway National Recreation Area. This recreation area preserves natural spots in the otherwise highly urbanized New York metropolitan area. It has 3 units, which are the Sandy Hook unit we're discussing in this video, a Staten Island unit, and a Jamaica Bay unit in Brooklyn and Queens. Unfortunately, there is a parking fee at the Sandy Hook unit during the summer months, but once you're in the park, there is a wide array of activities you can choose from. Because Sandy Hook is part of the Jersey Shore, you can, of course, go swimming during the summer. You can also go boating if you have a non-motorized car-top boat, and follow the park's rules about the launch locations permitted. In addition to water activities, the park also has biking and hiking trails that show off the peninsula's natural beauty. I remember following one trail to a wooden observation deck that provided great views of New York Bay, and of New York City in the distance across the bay. Furthermore, the Sandy Hook Peninsula is home to the oldest operating lighthouse in the United States, which was created in the 1760s. However, what truly sets Sandy Hook apart as a day trip destination is its military history, stretching all the way from the Revolutionary War to the present day. The peninsula was considered a strategic location during the Revolutionary War because of the access it provided between New Jersey and New York City. The British successfully occupied the peninsula after some fighting. After the British took over Sandy Hook, the Americans knew that the Sandy Hook Lighthouse would help British ships navigate New York Bay. As a result, the Americans launched an attack on the lighthouse in an attempt to destroy it, but the attack failed, explaining why the lighthouse still stands today. The British continued to occupy the Sandy Hook Peninsula until the end of the war, when peace negotiations concluded and the British military withdrew from the United States. Sandy Hook continued to play an important role in military history after the Revolution, as it remained a critical spot for the defense of New York Bay. Several times throughout American history, the federal government has constructed a series of forts around U.S. coastal areas. It has then gone back to make new forts a few decades later, when the old ones become obsolete due to technological innovations. So, that's exactly what happened at Sandy Hook, with several different forts being constructed and replaced over the years. The federal government constructed the wooden fort gates on the peninsula during the War of 1812, as part of what is known as the Second System of Fortifications. Around the time of the Civil War, the federal government was at work constructing a new, more modern system of fortifications called the Third System of Fortifications, which involved building a new, better fort on Sandy Hook in the late 1850s and early 1960s. In the 1870s, the Sandy Hook Proving Ground was established by the military as a place for testing weapons. Sandy Hook would continue to serve as the military's weapons proving ground until 1919, when the proving ground was moved to Maryland. In the 1880s and 1890s, the federal government began work on a newer, even more modern system of forts around U.S. coastal areas, called the Endicott system. This led to the gradual creation of the main fort for which Sandy Hook is known today, and from which many buildings still exist, Fort Hancock. Fort Hancock includes a series of gun batteries on the peninsula, but beyond the gun batteries, Fort Hancock included a large number of pretty, yellow stone buildings. Many of these comprised Officers' Row, a row of houses where officers lived with their families. In many ways, Fort Hancock functioned like an actual town, with stores and a post office. Construction and the stationing of troops at Fort Hancock expanded rapidly during World War I, with about 2,000 soldiers stationed there by the war's end. Another period of expansion came during World War II, when Fort Hancock reached a population of about 7,000 soldiers, the highest it would ever get. The Cold War saw the nature of warfare change, and Sandy Hook was equipped with Nike air defense missiles. Finally, when the federal government shut down its domestic Nike missiles in the 1970s, Fort Hancock was decommissioned, and the area was largely turned over to the National Park Service. Today, the only military presence left on the Sandy Hook Peninsula is a small Coast Guard area at the peninsula's tip, which is closed to the public. However, much of the old Fort Hancock can be seen by visitors. You can pick up a self-guided map of the fort's main sites at the visitor center. You can walk around the beautiful yellow buildings in what was once the fort's main residential area. You can climb the Sandy Hook Lighthouse for sweeping views of the area. You can go inside one of the former officers' row houses, which has been furnished to appear how it would have looked when an officer and his family lived there. You can also see some of the old gun batteries on Sandy Hook, and if you're up for a short drive, you can see additional such batteries at nearby Hartshorn Woods County Park. I think you'd enjoy a visit to Sandy Hook. It has lots of fun activities and history in a beautiful coastal setting. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to find out when I release new videos on New Jersey day trip spots. Have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.